mean, who could be mad at these guys? Even if they are laying on my plants. Good afternoon. It is midday, and usually I don't like to film during this time of day, but it is what it is at this point. I got stuff I'm doing, and I thought I'd bring you along for the ride. So, we're in the middle of a drought, and we have all of our family on the property right now, like all the people. My in-laws, my mother, our family, aunts and uncles, their families, aunts and their kids and cousins, and more aunts coming in, uncles. There's a lot of people here right now. Jeremy's best friend was just here, and it's wonderful. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why we have a homestead, is so that we can enjoy this with family, right? But because of this drought, and everybody on this mountain using the same well, we're having to be real sparing with our water, which means I'm not able to water the garden as much as I need to because of this drought. Now, I've got mulch on all my beds, so that's helping, but it's getting to the point, where it's uncomfortable and things are not growing like they should be growing. They're not dying, but they're kind of in a state of homeostasis. They are not growing. They're just kind of staying as is. So, kind of in a state of, or in a season of failure, I guess. And part of me is like, that's okay. I think to be a homesteader, to be a gardener, is to kind of be a failure. Oh, wow, an eagle just flew by. Oh, wow. And that's just comes with the territory. Honestly, if we were to kind of take the whole literal meaning of where I'm going with this, like, the more successful gardener or homesteader that you are, the bigger a failure you are. Anyway, so for example, what do I mean by that? I'm out here with one guinea, one duck, a bunch of geese eggs, and a bunch of quail eggs. And I'm going to dump them out in the woods. And that's why I walked pretty far out into the property. I mean, this is our second meadow, and this used to be completely overgrown. My father-in-law kind of cleared back all the brush, so now we can enjoy it as a second meadow again. But I don't want to dump eggs, especially partially formed eggs, anywhere near our house or by our chickens or by our homestead. But I know that this is good food for wildlife, so I'm going to dump this right there, and I'm sure somebody will enjoy it. I can come back tomorrow and that'll all be gone, I'm sure. There's a lot of wildlife. I mean, our property borders along national forest, so I mean, once you start going this direction, there's nothing, just wildlife and forest. So let me show you this big tree. There are many big oaks on our property. This has got to be one of the biggest ones, though. Look at how beautiful that is. That would take 3 of me to wrap my arms around that and hug it. So, failure. I failed at hatching those quail and the geese. It was my first try. I had an idea, I went with it, and it did not work. And in order to have an idea and go with it, that means you're trying. you're actually doing stuff. You're not thinking about it in theory. It's not a one day I'd like to, maybe someday if, I wish I could, or anything like that. We're actually trying it. We're doing it. And when you're actually trying and doing, you fail. And the more you fail, the more you're trying, which also means, likely, the more you're succeeding. You can succeed a lot more when you actually do stuff rather than when you just talk about hoping one day you could do stuff. So I failed with those, but I'm going to try again. I may fail again. It's okay. I'll do it again and again and again until I get it right. And then I'll share with you guys what I did in order to make it right. And I'll share with you guys what I did that didn't work each time I try. So failure there. I put up this chicken fence to keep out the chickens, and there's like 3 chickens still getting out, and I keep fixing the fence and making it more and more secure, and they still keep getting out, and I don't know. I gotta keep working on it, keep trying. Eventually I'm gonna hit on the right thing, and then I'll have a great success. You can hear the toads. My kids and I hunt toads every night around the rock walls, and then we bring them out to the garden and we put them out here. One of my biggest failures this year, and honestly it's been hard to tell you about it because it's just if I talk about it, maybe it makes it more real, I guess. I don't know. But the voles have completely destroyed my vegetable beds. Let me show you it. It's enough to make me almost want to throw in the towel. On the edges, it's not as bad, but through the middle area, it's really bad. I mean, look at this. Like, that's an onion. It's just, I mean, completely devoured. Look at this one. Look at this one. Just pulled this one out too. This one might be okay. Nope. Voles ate that one too. All the way down. Everything that I planted in this bed area just sucked in. This entire area was beans. And again, they didn't really mess with the beans on the edges. And like you can see, this bean plant is doing pretty good, and it's even starting to produce. But everything in here is just gone. And you can see the holes. And I don't know how to fight these things any more than what I'm doing. And obviously what I'm doing is not working. Literally, like, I'll be out here sometimes and I will see plants wiggling in the earth and just be sucked down. I don't even know. I don't even know what to do. I'm a bit brokenhearted. I'm a lot brokenhearted. I mean, this year was supposed to be about production. I can't even get the beans to grow. beans. And I planted all my seeds. I gotta go out and buy new seeds now. I mean, if something ever happens, maybe this channel gets huge and I start making money off of it, or, you know, somehow we end up with more money than what we've got right now, I'm gonna end up buying materials to make raised beds, because we've got a problem here, and obviously what I'm doing is not a sustainable system because I can't grow food. The food forest is pretty much fine. I mean, it's really spread out a lot, and it's not, it hasn't been hit hard like this. The only places that get hit really hard are the garden beds in this area, and I pray to God that it doesn't spread over there. But at the time being, like, if I want to grow beans, I gotta build raised beds and put like hardware cloth at the bottom of them. But that's really expensive. I don't even have money to buy dirt. And the amount of compost that we make is not enough to fill that if we were gonna do raised beds. So I don't even know how that would work. I don't even know. The herbs are great. Voles aren't bothering the herbs. That's good. At least that's good. There is some wins though. So failures, right? But in the midst of all these failures, I also need to remember that I can't forget about the successes. And there is success. Even this mess of a garden that just isn't the way that I pictured it, isn't the way I planned it. Even in this, there are still successes. Let me show you something that's a success. My cabbage is looking amazing. I mean, it really, really is. And the Brussels sprouts are looking awesome too. There was some worm damage, but I have been going in here. I was gone for a while. About 2 weeks I wasn't able to get in here. So, I mean, there was some significant damage on some of these plants, but I came in and I got all the worms off, and I'm coming out here daily to pick the worms off now. So we should be limited on what the damage is now. They're too big for the row covers. I can't fit row covers on them anymore. But I mean, isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? Look at that. Here's the success. And look at this cucumber climbing up the trellis. I mean, it's doing what it's supposed to do, and it's working really well. It's keeping it off the ground. The trellis system is working. The voles have not completely destroyed my calendula like they did last year. This year I'm getting calendula. I've got calendula over here too. And all these other plants along the edges are coming up too. Look at the tomatoes that I planted from seed are doing so good. And I got beets coming up. It's really good. The basil's starting to bush out a little bit. The nasturtium's doing well. I'm growing seed for my rocket arugula, my carrots, and my onions, and so that looks a little messy right now, but I want that to happen. I want that. And also, isn't that not beautiful or what? The radishes are coming along and have not been hit nearly as hard. So here's a hole right here. But radishes are coming up. The peppers are starting to put on some buds and some flowers. It's not all bad. My next round of spinach is doing really well. I gotta thin that out a little bit. So I've tried to grow cabbage and Brussels sprouts for many years, and this is honestly the best that it's ever done. So I'm very excited about that. And that's a win. I gotta remember that there's a win. It's not like we're starving, you know, it's not like we're not going to be able to buy food if this garden doesn't produce, but I do want to feed my family with this food if I can. So my baby duck Rose, okay, so she's not the baby, she's the littlest duck Rose. Of the full growns, oh my goodness, I forgot that there's also a baby, Coco, formerly known as Igor. She's just been irritated a lot lately, like very, very irritated. Anytime you come close to her, she just kind of like freaks out. And so in my mind, I'm thinking maybe she wants to have babies. She might be getting into like a broody phase, something like that. So let me give you an idea of what she's like. Hey, Rose. Here she is. You see her? This is her right here. Hey, Rose. So I thought, you know, there she is right there. That's her. Just bobbing her head. I thought, hey, she really likes to have her nest underneath this duck house. And she really decked it out like in a really nice nest. And so instead of gathering her eggs, what if I kind of gave her some eggs in there and let her do her thing if that's what she really wants to do? And so I put a bunch of duck eggs underneath the duck house. And well, this is what happened. I'll show you a failure right here. That's a failure. Big black snake eating one of the duck eggs. So here is the snake. Jeremy got it. It's huge and it's mad and it's ready to be let go.
Yeah, he's not happy that I grabbed him.
It's getting nice.
You can see, look at the head scales are beautiful.
He is really pretty.
Very healthy snake.
Especially after eating a duck egg.
There's nice big belly scales. Big old healthy guy. Or girl, I'm not sure. I don't know how to sex a snake.
It might bite your face off.
Oh, I might give it a bite.
I think we could call that a failure. I think that we could straight up call that a failure. So, yeah. But now I know. Now I know. And honestly, failures can sometimes be more valuable lessons learned because, I mean, there's so many different ways to do it right. But to know what happens when you do it wrong is a really big deal. If you can learn it from somebody else, do that. Absolutely do that. But if the only way that you learn is by trying something new and you find out, hey, this doesn't work, hey, that, you know, at least you learned something, and that's a valuable, valuable lesson. So I'm not upset about the failures as much as I could be, because I know that, you know, it's given me a lesson, and from here on out, all these things, they're only going to be bigger and better. And so maybe that means I end up with raised beds one day. And in the meantime, maybe I just interplant my whole food forest with vegetables, and see if maybe I can get a good harvest that way, because, you know, that's not a ridiculous idea. A lot of people do that. It's not a completely fully grown food forest yet, and so there's a lot of room for annuals in there. What if I spread out my herbs and I plant them throughout the whole vegetable garden area, and then interplant my vegetables between them? I mean, that could work really well. We'll see. There are ways to do it without spending a ton of money, I'm sure. I'll figure it out. And maybe this just leads to Rose having a super secure, fun, you know, cool little duck house for herself that's somehow snake proof. I don't know how to do that, but I'll look into it, that's for sure too. But failures happen. And the big thing is, it means I'm trying. It means I'm out here, I'm trying new things, I'm experimenting, I'm getting creative. I'm not afraid to get outside the box and try new things. And sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they don't work, and that's okay, because it means I'm trying. And as long as I don't give up, that's the big deal. And that vegetable garden has got me feeling a little bit like I want to give up, but I'm not. There's no way on earth that I could give up. It's not in my blood when it comes to the vegetable garden or gardening in general. I can't stay away from it. It won't happen. So there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot to learn. And I'm grateful for you guys being along here with me on my journey. And I know you guys have taught me a lot already in the comments. You guys, thank you for all the advice and the wisdom that you share, your ideas, your support, and your investment in what's going on here on the homestead here is just, it's humbling. It's completely humbling, and I'm so thankful for you guys. So I'm going to bucket this out. This mossy, slimy, poopy, green goodness. Dump it out into the food forest. Go in, read my kids a story. Thank you for being with me, guys, tonight. I really appreciate that. And there's so many more failures. There's so many more failures. And these are just the ones that stood out. Specifically today. I mean, we had the snake today. We had, I had to get rid of the eggs today. Seeing the vegetable garden the way that it is, really, you know, it just hits hard. But it means I'm trying. It means I'm out there. So I hope that you guys get a chance to go out and make some mistakes. I hope that you get some huge mistakes that don't destroy everything, but give you these really valuable lessons that you'll learn for a lifetime, and maybe you'll pass on to your kids or your neighbors or people on YouTube. I hope you get the opportunity to make mistakes. And because you'll have the opportunity to make mistakes, you'll end up with the opportunity to have such great, immense successes. And if you want to talk about success, just look at this food forest behind me. I can't get lost in the mistakes and the failures when I have something like this and the rest of all the herbs and the things that are growing in the vegetable garden. I can't get lost in the failures when I have something like that that's surrounding me. So anyway, thank you for being with me, guys, today. Please hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, all those wonderful things. And I hope that you have a wonderful night and stay blessed.